talking about Matt Brash as the 5th starter. Obviously, that's not going to happen this year because he's pitching relief in the WBC. Do you think Brash should move to the rotation of like next year? Like that's something that they have like they're kind of like looking towards, or where do you kind of see their approach with that?
I don't think Matt Brash should ever pitch out of the rotation again.
Dang, brutal,
harsh. He does not. I mean, even this spring, he does not have. Again, spring training. Who cares? But he doesn't have the control that you want to see out of a starting pitcher. And I think his stuff plays up way better in the bullpen because he could just go all out. He can literally, he can go max effort for an inning instead of having to kind of hold back a little bit to try to go 5 or 6. He can throw it all out there at one time.
I also don't know, like, I mean, in his spring training debut, or no, it wasn't the debut. It was not the debut, sorry. His really bad outing, couldn't finish it out. 4 hits, couple earned runs, walk, whatever. Is it like do you think it's maybe like the atmosphere, like the intensity, like those like final innings of those games, like where he like turns up and like he kind of feels like the pressure? That's when he pitches at his best. Because like some guys, like they just transition to a bullpen role really well and like they live for those moments, whereas like some guys as starters, like they don't really like thrive, like the pressure cooker. So is Brash being like an early game like reliever? Is that something that we could see consistently, or is it just like this? I mean, obviously spring training, it's a one-off thing, but like maybe that's something with Brash where it's like he can't find that same intensity, and so he struggles when like the pressure's not like on fully.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. I think that overall he's a back end of the bullpen piece for the Mariners. He's someone they're really relying on to be able to hold games down in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. And I think that we saw that in the playoffs last year. We saw that towards the end of in the second half. I think that overall, the idea of putting Matt Brash in the rotation, if he somehow can maintain the same stuff in the rotation that he can in the bullpen, then absolutely put Matt Brash in the rotation. But I don't see that happening, and we didn't see it happen at all when he did pitch out of the rotation. Again, small sample size, but still, you've seen pitchers that go from the bullpen to the rotation and it doesn't work out. You've also seen pitchers go from the bullpen to the rotation and it does work out. Look at Chris Sale. So
I mean, it's case to case, and like Accent saying like why next year everyone else will be ready. I mean, Brash was supposed. I mean, he came out of spring training last year as the 5th starter, it didn't work out, and then like came back as a reliever. Like it's never a guarantee that Miller is going to be a starter either. I mean, obviously like people are probably banking on him, Hancock, or Wu kind of panning out to be that 5th starter for when Flexen and Marco are no longer on the team, kind of a vibe, and like a couple years down the line when Ray's contract is up, how that's going to look. Obviously, like we're looking for the future, kind of, but it's definitely something you have to keep an eye on for Brash, because I know he has stated that he wants to be a starter. Like that's something that he has in mind for himself.
Remember when we went to the 6-man rotation in 2021? I personally hate the idea, but you see this as an option? No. In fact, Scott Service and Jerry DePoto both said that's not happening, and they said do not mention a 6-man rotation around it because they all hate it.
Yeah, that presser was hilarious.
Don't say 6-man rotation out loud among our starters. We don't want to revolt on our hands.
And yeah, like you said, Accent said Wu and Miller. Yeah, that's the thing is, that's one of the reasons why I don't see Matt Brash being an option.
It's also hard because like it's someone that we've seen succeed in that role, and taking him out of that, I don't think they want to change that like idea, if that makes sense. Like moving him out of like a successful position for him. Yeah, it's like maybe not what he wants, but like I don't know. That's why I'm surprised. Like I know like Zach Eflin came up as a starter, but the Phillies used him as a reliever very successfully last year. Now he's going to start again for the Rays. Seth Lugo, reliever for the Mets. He's going to start for the Padres. It's just kind of, it's weird, and I don't love it all the time when they like transition back and forth. I could see Brash maybe in like 3 years, like when it comes down to it, but like if Matt Brash is still wanting to be a starter, there's so many like question marks surrounding it, I feel like.